Let's start exploring the myth of the Kraken. Where did this legend come from? Did it come from sailor stories, or is there a deeper meaning? What does this say about how people see the sea?
It's interesting to think the Kraken might be based on real encounters. Sailors probably thought giant squids were sea monsters. The sea was huge and unknown, like space is today. Did fear of the ocean turn these creatures into the Kraken legend?
That's an interesting idea, Guy. The Kraken is more than a sea monster, it shows the mysteries of the world. Different cultures made their fears into stories. The Kraken is a story from the unknown. What do other mythical creatures show about cultural fears?
Exactly, Ryan. The Kraken is also a symbol of chaos and power. Coastal societies dealt with nature's unpredictability. Myths like the Kraken were cautionary tales in storytelling. How have modern movies or books changed our idea of the Kraken?
Mixing real and mythical makes the Kraken interesting. It inspires creators to imagine it in new ways, keeping it popular. Does this fascination show something about our nature to create myths about what we don't know?
Today, stories often show the Kraken not just as a scary creature but as a symbol of human strength. It's not just an enemy, sometimes stories show working together with the monster. Maybe this reflects how we see nature today.
That's a hopeful view, Guy. By understanding the Kraken, we can face and adapt to danger. It shows we are moving from fearing the unknown to living with it. The Kraken story shows we've always used stories to understand the world. Can new myths still help us do this?
Yes, Ryan. Myths like the Kraken show that knowledge comes from doubt. As we explore this legend, remember its power to inspire and connect us across time and cultures. Shall we look deeper into how myths shape our view of the world?
By exploring myths like the Kraken, we learn more than just the tales. We see their lasting impact on culture and society. As we continue, let's keep adding curiosity and wonder to our understanding. The Kraken often becomes its own character in literature and art. What do these depictions tell us about our curiosity and fear of the sea?
When we think of literature, like Tennyson's poem or Jules Verne's book, the Kraken often shows chaos and nature's power. It's like a mix of our interest in monsters and the unknown. We see both fear and beauty in it.
The Kraken in art shows how we deal with fear and awe. It's painted as a huge creature with many tentacles, showing the sea's strength and unpredictability. It's like the ocean's guardian, both scary and amazing, showing how thin the line is between fear and fascination.
Exactly, Ryan. These artistic portrayals show our thoughts about the world's mysteries. When artists paint the Kraken, they aren't just showing terror but also the sea's vivid unpredictability. Do these images show our wish to explore the unknown or remind us of nature's limits?
In literature and art, the Kraken becomes a symbol. Do you think these versions help us think about nature's mysteries and human strength?
Definitely. Each portrayal of the Kraken shows how different ages deal with the unknown. It changes from a monster to a friend or even a misunderstood creature. This shows how we now try to understand and respect nature instead of fearing it.
It's interesting how the Kraken's art changes our view and challenges it. By making a monster a main character, artists and writers make us rethink our fears. It makes us learn and even appreciate what we fear.
Yes, turning fear into understanding is important. As we face new challenges, myths like the Kraken inspire us to think and be creative. They show us how to adapt and grow. Can we use these lessons for our current challenges and make new myths?
Yes. The Kraken in art and writing invites us to look past its scary image and see it as a way to understand our own fears. As we move forward, we can think about what other myths might shape our stories and views. We've talked about how the Kraken is important in culture and art. Now let's look at the science behind it. How can modern biology and ocean studies help us understand this legendary creature?
Science shows us that myths like the Kraken come from real animals like the giant squid or colossal squid, which can get very big. Sailors might have thought these squids were sea monsters. Big waves or underwater currents could have made these sightings seem bigger.
It's amazing how things like glowing algae in the ocean can create strange effects that seem magical. If sailors saw glowing water and large shadows, it may have seemed like a legend. The Kraken shows how hard it was to explain nature with science they had back then.
Plus, the unknown parts of the ocean make people imagine things. The deep sea is still a mystery today. We've only explored a little part, so strange creatures or things might still be there. This mystery is why people are so interested in myths.
Myths mix real facts with fantasy. By connecting the Kraken to real squids, we see how legends can inspire science and make us curious about the ocean. Could the Kraken inspire new discoveries as we learn more about the sea?
Yes, for sure. Today's scientists often start with these myths to explore. Legends show us what we don't know and push us to be curious about science. As we learn more, the stories grow and get richer.
Myths make us explore what we don't know. As we learn about ocean life, we might find new Kraken's creatures or things that surprise us like the Kraken did. It's a reminder that myth and science are both part of our search for knowledge.
Exactly. By seeing the Kraken as both a myth and science, we respect our search for knowledge. As technology gets better, who knows what secrets we might find in the depths? Are there new myths waiting for us, shaped by future discoveries?
Looking at the mix between myth and science shows our endless search for understanding. As we learn more about things like the Kraken, we uncover more about the unknown and find richer stories and truths. Let's see what the future holds for us in our journey of discovery. When we think about the Kraken, what does it stand for in different cultures? Can this myth help us understand our thoughts and values?
The Kraken can mean fear and interest. In Scandinavian stories, it is a strong creature that people respect. It shows nature's unpredictable strength. This tells us how cultures see natural forces as both scary and helpful.
True, Guy. The Kraken also shows the unknown parts of our mind, our fears and hidden abilities. Ian talked about exploring the shadow inside us, showing fear and discovery in every culture.
And today, it's not just chaos or destruction. The Kraken stands for change and toughness in hard times. Stories show it is a powerful force, making heroes grow and communities stay strong.
Good points, Sonia. The changing Kraken makes us think about how we deal with challenges. These stories seem to tell us to balance facing fears and accepting the unknown. Is there a common message we find in the Kraken?
Nice point, Michelle. It's like humanity's path learning about our world. Through the Kraken, stories capture struggle and victory. Maybe it's about respecting our inner and outer worlds.
Yes. It shows we always try to understand the world and ourselves. The Kraken is like a symbol for accepting mysteries we face every day. This journey becomes a way to gain wisdom, strength, and grow with nature.
It's great to see how myths like the Kraken change our views. They teach us that staying flexible and respectful might help us solve deep mysteries. How can we use these myths today to deal with social and environmental issues?
Thinking about the Kraken's story, it asks us to blend wisdom from myths with modern stories. Maybe with these ideas we can connect more with nature and each other. Let's keep exploring this. As we finish talking about the Kraken myth, let's think about why these stories last. What does the Kraken teach us about facing the unknown?
The Kraken shows us how powerful nature is in our wish to explore it. It's not just fear, it's about wondering what's out there. This legend tells us to respect and learn about our world.
Yes, Guy. The Kraken also shows how we use stories to deal with life's uncertainties. It's a way to handle the unknown and turn fear into wonder, leading us to think deeply about our place in the world.
Myths like the Kraken give us important insights into human nature. They show our ongoing fights and cooperation with nature. By understanding these stories, we find inspiration to solve today's problems creatively.
These stories help us understand human feelings and dreams. As we move forward, let's use what the Kraken's story teaches: curiosity, respect, and creativity to face today's challenges.
True, Michelle. By turning myths like the Kraken into discussions about the environment and ourselves, we create a path of understanding and strength, making new stories for future generations.
And as we learn more about the ocean, these myths not only entertain but also start important talks. They remind us of our never-ending journey to understand and care for the world.
By rethinking stories of the Kraken, we can spark our imagination and make new myths for today's challenges. Maybe the Kraken's legend calls us to act towards a sustainable future.
Let's keep celebrating the world's rich myths and legends, using their power to teach, inspire, and change us. Here's to exploring more and making new stories that bring everyone together. As we finish talking about the Kraken's myth, let's think about what lessons it gives us about the unknown. How can this story inspire us now?
The Kraken shows us how to balance fear and interest in the natural world. It reminds us to respect the ocean and its secrets. This myth makes us think about how we connect with nature.
Yes, Guy. The story of the Kraken is about all human struggles finding meaning in chaos and looking for knowledge. It is a symbol of facing life's unexpected challenges with bravery.
It shows creative strength. When myths like the Kraken change, they encourage us to rethink how we act and think about nature. They prompt us to find new ways to protect the environment.
Thinking about this myth encourages us to welcome both science and storytelling. As we face real challenges, maybe the Kraken inspires us to live better with our world.